Hello everyone, I'm Alok and today we're going to see second video of the playlist how to log in to Azure using a service principal. In our last video, I'll just give the link above. We have created and registered an application in Microsoft Entra ID. We have attached a service principal to it, created a password, added a contributor role, and then seen how we can log in using a service principal with a password. Today we'll be doing almost the same steps, but instead of a password we'll be creating a certificate and we'll be using that certificate to log in to Azure. And secondly, in this video we'll be generating the certificate and pushing it to Azure Key Vault. Okay, now let's see the shortest way how we can create a application and attach a certificate to that application, provide a contributor role, and the scope will be subscription. The command is az Azure Active Directory service principal create for RBAC. That means we are doing multiple things together, that is giving a RBAC role to this scope and also adding a password or a certificate to this particular application. Let's try executing this command. First we need to do az login. We should have owner's access to the account. Okay, we have logged in. Now I'm executing. When I'll execute this command, it will generate a certificate somewhere in my local directory, mostly my home folder. Let's see, it should be part of the output when it generates it. Let's wait. Okay, it is creating a contributor role and assigning to the scope of the subscription. It has created a application. The application ID is this. Application name is app01. It has created a certificate, a PEM file. PEM file is nothing but certificate private key and public key together in a file. Then the tenant in which the subscription lies. Okay, we can see now az ad app list if the application is created, -o table data view. Okay, the application is created. Now let's see whether the service principal is present. Az adsp list. The service principal should also be created using the -o table using the same application name. Application name is app01. You see here app01 is created, so yes, I can validate that both the things are done. We can go ahead and see in the UI as well. Okay, all application app01 I can see. App01, this is my app ID. I can see a certificate is created. Now let's try login using this certificate. Clear. First let's see what is inside the certificate, how it looks. Let me cat to this PEM file. This PEM file is having the certificate. First part is the private key and second part is the public key. Okay, so this file we will be using. The command to log in using this certificate is az login service principal. We need to replace the app ID. We'll just replace the app ID here, and in password, instead of a password, we'll be giving the path of the certificate, which is a PEM file to us, and the tenant will be the same. Okay, this will try to log in using a PEM file. I see I'm able to log in, which is good, and this is the shortest way we can create an application and authenticate to Azure with certificate and the service principal. Okay, now how we can do step by step what this single command did create for our back. We'll be creating now our own certificate and we'll be adding that to a new registered application. Okay, so how do we create a certificate? To create a certificate, firstly I need to create a certificate signing request, for which I'll be using a OpenSSL tool, and in that I'll be giving the complexity of 4096. We can give different complexities. My certificate key will be service principal dot key, and I'll be generating a service principal dot csr certificate signing request. This will create me two files. First I need to give the country code. For now, to make it simple, I'll keep things as simple as possible, and you see I have now a CSR and a public key already. Okay, using this CSR and the public key, now I need to generate my certificate .crd file. For that I'll be using again OpenSSL X509 standard certificate. Signing key is my key, which is just generated in this step. I have a CSR and I'll be creating a certificate which has the validity of 365 days, and the name is service principal dot crt. This will generate me the certificate. I'm executing it now. I see a certificate is created. This is the certificate. Okay, what we do next is we need to create a PEM file out of these certificates. To create a PEM file, we just need to use a cat command. Let me go to my notes, and to create a PEM file I'll just use a cat command. What I'll be doing is appending the service principal.crt and service principal.key into service principal.pem file. This will be my output file, which will include both the private and public certificate into it. Okay, so this is my service principal.pem file, where first I have my public key and second I have my private key. This PEM file is required to log into Azure. Now let's go back and now let's try first to create a new application, the application to which we will be adding this certificate. So we'll be doing azad app create display name 02, because 01 we have already created. Let's do az app create display name 02 insufficient privileges, because I've logged in with the privilege of app01, and app01 it is a contributor, right? And we need owner's role to create an application. So let's do az logout and az login. We'll go back to my browser, login. Let's go back. Okay, now we have owner's privilege. Now I'll be creating another application with the name app02. Okay, let's see azad app list. Okay, -o table. We see app02 is created, but likewise if you see azad sp list -o table, this time we don't have app02 service principal created. Okay, that we can also validate from the UI. If we go to the app registrations, my registration, refresh app02. Okay, here a service principal is not created. There is no certificate assigned to it. So these things are not by default created when we create a application. Let's do it now. Let's go back and let's add first a certificate or a service principal to the application. This is the command. I need the app ID. I'll copy the app ID, Control C, Control V, AZADSP create, that is I'm creating a service principal for the application. Okay, it is created. Now if I do SP list, that is service principal list, I can see app02 service principal is created. Same thing we can validate now in the UI, where we didn't had the service principal first, we should have it now. Yes, it is there. Next, let's see how can we add a certificate. We'll go back and to reset a certificate. Reset is nothing but creation of a certificate. Okay, this is the command azad app credential reset. I need the app ID. My app ID is azad app list minus o table. App02, this is my app ID. I'll just replace it here. Okay, and I need to provide the certificate. For this, either we can use the same certificate that is already generated in our previous system, or we can use this certificate that we have created. We'll use this particular service principal.pem file. So let's replace the right name and let's try to add this certificate to the application. Okay, so I see the certificate is created. Now let's see how can we list the certificate of the application from command line. The path, this is the command to it, azad app credential list, and if by default if we just give the ID, it will showcase us the password attached to the application. Because I want the certificate list, I'll be using the flag minus minus cert to it. Let's see if there is a certificate attached. I see a certificate is attached, and there is a key ID of the certificate. This is important to me, and I'll keep the key ID as the ref. Okay, let's try now to log in using application 02. Okay, so for that I have my command already. Here I'll just change the application ID. This is my application ID, which I'll change. I need to use the password, the PEM file that we have. The PEM file that we can use is dot slash service dot pem. Tenant ID will be the same, and let's see if we can log in using the PEM file. No subscription found for this particular ID. Okay, why this happened? Because there is no RBAC role attached yet to the service principal. For that we need to first add the RBAC role. No issues, we'll do the addition of the RBAC role. For that the command is azad role assignment create. I'm assigning for the application. For that I need to provide the application ID. This is application ID. Okay, and I'm giving a role of contributor, and my scope is my subscription. Now let's try providing the RBAC role. What's missing is there is no, I missed this. Okay, let's now provide a contributor access. We'll do this. It is creating a scope, contributor right. Okay, now the RBAC is created. Now let's try logging in again using the service principal. This is the command to log in. We are using app02. Is it login using the app02 and the certificate? And yes, I'm able to log in using the certificate. Great. Now what if I want to add another certificate to the same application? Maybe I have two different automation scripts and I need to provide two different certificates to those. So what best I can do is I can do an append certificate to the existing application. The command is azad app credential reset. ID is again the app ID. I'll do azad app list -o table, and my app ID insufficient privilege. I've logged in using the app02. Let me do az log out, az logout, az login. It's always good to take the IDs from the environment. That's how I prefer. Okay, now I'm copying my app ID here and the certificate, because in the first step when we have done everything together, it had created a certificate for me. The certificate is this PEM file, right? So this one was auto generated using the az command. When we have created, it was created in my home folder. I'll be using this particular certificate and I add it to my existing app02 application. That should be okay because we are just adding another certificate to it. Let me give @ because I'm giving the path @user certificate, certificate expiries, and password is this. Okay, so this is how we add another certificate to the existing application. Let's try to list the certificate instead of this ID. I need to replace my ID of app02. I should expect two certificates now attached. Okay, I have two certificates and the certificate key ID, this is important. So let's see it in the UI, the two certificates that we have created. Right now there is no certificate in app02. Let me reload. Now I see there are two certificates here with a CN login and these two certificates. Okay, those two certificates that we have just created. Let me try logging in using the certificate that we just added to app02. You know, app01 and app02 were different. App01 certificate in app02. Let me replace this PEM file. This is app02's app ID. I guess I've added the right path. The tenant is common. Paste, play. AZ login, invalid credential secrets provided, not a client ID secret to app ID. Let me do AZ login. Login. Okay, but that should not impact anything because we were trying the AZ login command. So dot user this dot pend. Let me try removing the dot because it's a complete path. Let me log in again and see I'm able to log in. It was the path issue, there was a dot. So yeah, with both the certificates we are able to log in. Next, if I want to delete any of the certificate, so let me first list the certificates that I see. Okay, AZ logout, AZ login, AZ login here, and let me list the certificates. Okay, and with this key ID, let me try delete one of the certificate. Now the command is az app credentials delete. I need to give the right ID, the ID of the application from which I need to delete the certificate, and the key ID. I told you the key ID is the unique ID of every certificate. First I'll try to delete this particular certificate and I'll give this key ID, and minus minus cert defines that I don't want to delete a password but a certificate. And if I delete this, okay, now I should be remaining with only one certificate. Yeah, that's true. And now if I want to delete another certificate as well, then I'll just use the key ID of second certificate and delete that as well. So this is where you can keep refreshing your certificates, and as per your requirement you can generate new ones. Okay, next we can also delete the entire application. If you want to delete the application that you have just created, you can just use AZ app delete and again the app ID that we can provide to delete the application. So AZ app delete, this is deleted. AZ app list minus o table. Now I see only app01. I would like to delete that too. I'll use the app ID, and instead of the ID of app02 I'll use app01. Perfect. This will clear out the applications that we have created for our next task. Okay, now if I see the list of the application, I don't have any. Let's validate the same in the UI. If I go to Microsoft Entra ID, application registration, all applications, is this still getting deleted? Let me see. If I refresh once again, all applications, okay, it is deleted. It was just taking its time. Okay, next I need to show you how we can use the key vault for pushing the certificate that is created during application creation. So let's suppose we are using the AZ SP app create for RBAC. Let's suppose I'm creating a new app04 application with the contributor role in my subscription with a particular certificate that will be created, but it will be created in a vault, that is a key vault that I'll be creating, and with the certificate name CER 1323. Okay, but for this we first need a key vault present in the subscription, and for a key vault we first need a resource group to be present in the subscription. So for that, let's go ahead and create a resource group. I'll be creating a resource group, my resource group, in West US, and in that I'll be creating the key vault. The command to create a key vault is azure key vault create. Location should be same as of the resource group. The name of the key vault 3401, and the resource group in which the key vault is to be created. Okay, once this command is executed, we'll have a freshly created key vault. The resource groups, I have my resource group, and yes, the key vault is created. In this key vault there should be no certificate right now which is generated. It is completely empty. So what I'll do is I'll go back and first check the command to list all the key vaults. Once a key vault is created, I'll do azure key vault list, just the way we have seen it in the UI. We can see it from the terminal as well. Okay, now it's the point where we have the key vault to utilize. The name of the key vault is same. Certificate name can be anything. It will be runtime new certificate PEM file will be created by the azad command. The scope will be the subscription, and the RBAC role will be contributor. Let's try now running this command. So what we expect is a new application to be created with the name of app04, and it will have all these accesses. Let's see. The certificate which is created, it will not create now in my local folder, but it will be created in this key vault. What's the issue? The current delete but recoverable state name cannot be reused. Okay, I tried the name. It is the name of the certificate. Let me try rename the certificate. Okay, so let me just have the name as this. That should resolve the issue. Certificate name can be anything, but once you have created a certificate and deleted it, it takes its time to refresh the cache from the Azure side, so we cannot use the same name. So that's totally okay. We can change the name. Okay, so it has created the certificate, but this time the output do not have the local path of the certificate, and I don't even have the password here. But if I go and check azad app list -o table, I do have a application created azad sp list -o table. I have a service principal also created. If I go and check in the UI, in the Microsoft Entra ID, app registrations, all 04. Here I see one certificate which is already created. Okay, this is only one command that has done all these things. Okay, service principal created, services this is the application ID. But what we are interested to see is in the key vault, which is already created, did it push the certificate here? Let me refresh the key vault, and now we can see the new certificate present here, that is recently created using this command. Now, how can we use that certificate which is present in the key vault? We need to download that certificate from the key vault first to use the az command. There is no way we can directly in the command provide a reference of the certificate which is present in the key vault, because see, what we are doing is we are trying to log in, and before login we cannot access any of the key vault certificate, right? That's why it's a kind of chicken and egg situation. Hence we have to download it first. We have to download the certificate from the key vault, and then we can utilize that certificate to log in to Azure. So to download that certificate from the key vault, what I'll do is I need to retrieve the certificate. So the command to retrieve the certificate is azure key vault secret download. I need to download that into this name. I'll keep the name of the certificate same, but the downloaded format is a binary format, which is pfx format from the Azure Key Vault. The name of the key vault is same. My name of the certificate, here we changed the name and encoded base 64. Will decode it, and from the pfx file will be converting it to the PEM file next. But first let's try downloading it. It should download this pfx file. You see this pfx file is created, but this is not readable file. We need to first convert that pfx file to a PEM file to read. So to convert that file, we need to use the OpenSSL utility again. I'll be inserting the pfx file, passing it to the tool, and I'll expect a same named PEM file. Okay, and that file will be readable to us, that will be using to do the AZ login. Okay, now we have the PEM file. Here we can see the private file and the public file. So this is something that we can use to log into Azure. So let's try logging in using the certificate that we have just downloaded from Key Vault. Okay, same AZ login. I need to use the new app ID, app list -o table. This is my app ID that I need to use. Certificate is, the name of the certificate is this, is this. I'll be using tenant ID is common, and let's try logging in. Yeah, we are able to log in using the certificate again, and yeah, this is all I wish to show you regarding the service principal and certificates and Azure Key Vault. These are the various ways we can utilize the certificate, and certificates are the most preferred ways to authenticate through any of the automation script. So this is all I wish to show you in this particular video. I hope you understand how we can use certificates now, comfortable to use certificates with the service principals and the registered applications. Thank you so much for now. We'll see you into the next video. Thanks.